broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh my God, the suit!
That's what you start with.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in for the finale of the Daredevil After Show here at AFTERBUZZ TV. It's episode 13, Daredevil.
We did it!
We've done it.
We made it. We should really be cheering for them because nobody has spoiled.
Nobody
it.
spoiled
anything. Well, hold on, I want to thank them, but first, thank you guys so much for joining us. If you haven't done so already, make sure to tune in, to go on to youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV, SoundCloud, iTunes, leave us a comment, a review. All great. Let's introduce the panel real quick because we got to talk about this episode. I'm so excited. I'm your host, Zach Wilson. You can follow me on Twitter. You can tweet me throughout the show, throughout the week at @ZachWilson, ThatZachWilson.
My name is Mark Donica. You can follow me on Twitter at SoapboxMark. Since this is our last show, follow all of us and let's just talk about it and things coming up. Why not? That was great.
Yeah, I'm Jesse Klein. You can find me at Jesse Klein1. That's JESSKLEIN, the number 1. And yeah, I will always talk to people about Marvel stuff forever until I die in 2087.
And on that note,
That just got real.
if you die in 2087, that's going to be weird.
Yeah, it's gonna be fantastic.
I'm Jamie, and you guys can follow me on Twitter, Instagram at Jamie S. Elias, and I'm really excited to talk about it.
Yeah, it's pretty much, Marvel is like 70% of what I talk about on a daily basis, so if you want to tweet about it, like with me and Jesse Klein.
Yeah, we'll just do it.
Yeah, it happened. It's going to happen regardless. You might as well be a part of it. Anyway, so let's get you guys to be a part of this Daredevil discussion.
D.
Was anyone else just wearing a huge smile for like a while as this ended and as we walked out?
The Godfather sequence really made me happy when we see all of the columns coming down in the house that Kingpin has built.
Yeah, what was your guys' favorite moment of this episode?
Can me pick? Jeez.
Yeah, I know.
Gotta look over my notes.
Mine was the Samaritan talk. The story about the Samaritan.
Yeah.
I just thought there were so many parallels for me, like the Batman, the Dark Knight for this. The whole scene when he got taken, I was like, what? This is pretty cool. And it was all filmed at night. It was all really super dark. And there was this feeling, like a menacing feeling, like this isn't done yet. Like there's no conclusion yet. And then when he starts telling that story, I'm like, it's about to go down. Like something's gonna happen. And all the religious parallels, I love how they're doing that with Daredevil, and they're doing the complete opposite. Like he's taking a Catholic story and he's making it into something where he's the villain. How in the story of the Good Samaritan, how do you make yourself the villain? I was so impressed. That was my favorite scene.
Yeah, I realized as they were talking about, they were calling Fisk the savior of Hell's Kitchen. And I was like, oh, dummy, the saviors of Hell's Kitchen versus the devil of Hell's Kitchen. The easiest religious parallel that you could think of. And I was like, but the good guy's the devil and the bad guy's the savior. But I think
makes you want to re-examine the Bible.
Oh man,
I can't wait for the Bible graphic novel to come out.
I'm gonna read it.
Even though it's probably already
I
out.
think that exists.
Yeah.
I think my favorite was when we get the suit reveal. I really like the suit. I know it's a mixed. Some people don't like it. I think it looks super cool.
Yeah, and we will talk about it.
Yes.
I think Stephen Lemieux
I've been waiting so long for you guys to watch the finale because I love the show so much, but I couldn't give spoilers or anything. I'm really looking forward to Frank Miller's Bible. That's gonna be a really good movie.
Dark. It got real dark.
I hear they kill the main character in the end. I really liked Owsley. I liked when they killed Owsley because it really shone through with Fisk's character that you cannot put Fisk in a box. You cannot bind him because he's irrational.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about anything except what he wants.
Yeah.
Nobody puts Baldy in a corner.
Nobody puts Baldy in a corner.
He's coming now
Yeah.
to get you and hold you over his head and throw you away.
For
your
me, I think I know I asked for your guys' favorite moments, but I think it's two. I'm gonna go with two really quick ones, like really small moments. On just a purely geeky level, the moment where he connects his two sticks into the staff, I just lost it.
Yeah. Oh, it was so cool.
That was awesome. But then, just as a TV watcher, I think it was in the Hoffman scene when the whole fight is just like you're looking at Hoffman's closed eyes,
Yeah.
and hearing this fight just around you. And because we
So
watched
cool.
it we watched it together in a screening room, so
Yeah.
it was dark, and we're just like staring at this guy's eyes with like loud sounds of just like fighting and gunfire, and we're like, what's happening? What's happening?
Yeah.
What's happening? And to me, that was just, it was a beautiful shot. It was a beautiful choice to not show that action sequence and just focus on like Hoffman and playing with like whether you see anything in this show is like, yeah, they do that all the time, but this one just, it really worked.
But it was also, I feel like they put that for a different reason, because at the end, one of my favorite moments, probably one of everybody's favorite moments, was the suit reveal and the ensuing fight, because that had been brewing all season.
Yeah.
But not to give away what Matt kind of wants to do to Fisk, by not showing the actual fight between him and the policeman, makes you want to see him fight that much more. So I like both of those in conjunction with each other.
And I like that the only part of that scene that we really saw was when Matt like just punches the only cop that we really kind of recognize as a corrupt cop. Like just punches him in the face. And we're like, okay, good.
Yes.
That guy got his comeuppance. Also, like seeing those cops come in and just kill all of Leland's men very efficiently.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that. I want to go
yeah.
back to the top of this episode to talk about the funeral of Ben Urich.
R.I.P.
To see that at the top of the comic,
Yeah.
the cover page.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like
Yeah.
it's raining and there's just like mud pouring down.
I mean, we talked about it a bit before we watched it, but did anybody notice the pallbearer in the front?
Yeah.
A young man, probably his nephew. Anybody know?
Oh.
No, really?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I thought I was the only one that saw it. I was like, really?
Wait, I
Just
fully
me?
didn't see it.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
the shot opened on him
It was
picking
on
up
him,
the casket.
yeah.
So
Dang
it's
it.
like,
They're focusing on him. You,
I
you
mean-
think that they you think it's Phil?
I mean, it's one of those things that
It's gotta be,
they
right?
show that are like, this could be something. You should probably remember, boo.
I mean, maybe they would drop. I feel like that's if they're gonna use Phil Urich, who, if you're not familiar, because this is a fairly obscure comic book character, he is also a journalist.
Yeah.
But he's not like the storied, like hard hitting journalist that Ben Urich is. And at some point, he becomes the Hobgoblin.
Yeah.
Anybody can become the Hobgoblin. Oh, look, there's a costume in the trash. I'm a supervillain.
Yeah, that's literally how the
Yeah,
Hobgoblin
that's
gets made. like just people find the mask and like, what am I doing Tuesday? I'd be a Hobgoblin.
You know, I heard Vinny tried being the Hobgoblin last week. He didn't do too well with it.
But I found the mask.
Might as well.
Might as
But
well.
so anyway, so it could have been. It could have been.
Could have
but-
been. I think now that they have Spider-Man, that could be another way to expand the story if they're keeping him on the movies. They could have somebody always like, dude, you should have heard what happened at the Bugle last week.
Yeah.
And they can spread that throughout the different movies, the different TV shows, just because we always get those little references every now and again, like like the Hulk fist in Sky's safe house sort of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just think that it could be another window into that universe.
Yeah, it would be a nice way to tie everything together. I don't know that it'll be that guy that we saw.
Probably not.
But you never know. That could have been some super sly casting. Can you imagine you're that guy and they're like, okay,
In 12
we're casting
years.
you as this character. You're not going to be able to tell anyone for at least a decade.
Yeah.
Or at
Coulson
least
too.
at least 2 years
Yeah.
until Spider-Man comes out.
Yeah.
Because we haven't even cast Spider-Man yet. So we definitely can't cast Hobgoblin.
Yeah.
Anyway, way off track. Ben's funeral. It was a tough scene. It was a very well like it was very somber.
You know what was killing me the entire scene is that, like, Ben's wife might not remember this.
Oh, why'd you have to bring that up?
Like, that she might wake up tomorrow and be like, "Where's Ben?"
Oh,
Yeah.
all the feels.
Yeah,
Jeez, we
like
didn't
that.
even think about that.
Like the entire scene, I was thinking about, like, oh man, like Ben's wife might not remember any of this. We don't know the extent of what her unknown illness is.
Yeah,
She seemed really lucid the last two episodes too. Like she seemed, but her symptoms. Is it just me, or are they almost the exact same as Fisk's mom?
Well,
Did you guys see
similar,
that?
yeah.
They are similar. I think that is intentional.
Yeah.
There's somebody at Marvel who has a family member.
I was gonna say he's a
they're
total
dying
jerk
of.
when they write stuff, but
Oh yeah.
That
Well,
too.
I just mean, they've used Alzheimer's in several places throughout Marvel. I
Yeah.
mean, not just we have two characters with Alzheimer's or a similar disease,
some sort of
here,
memory disease.
and you had Peggy Carter in
Yeah.
Winter Soldier, who had like a very similar scene to what we've seen
Yeah.
come to play here.
stop breaking my heart.
Yeah, what is up with all the feels?
Oh, I left it outside.
It's just like, I mean, I think it's a great way to kind of portray dramatic tension as far as like knowing who you are. This entire show has been like finding out who you are for Fisk and for Karen and for Foggy and for Matt. Like, so like to have these people with this disease where they don't know who they are every time that they wake up and don't know where they are, where they're going, is kind of like this kind of really deep, sad well that they keep drawing to.
Yeah, no, it's a
Yeah.
it's a great way of it's a great point. It's a great way of looking
And
at
I wonder
it.
when they found him too, because he was the only one at that house. Somebody had to have found him.
I mean, you have to imagine
a
that when
neighbor.
nobody checks in and he doesn't, like, he's a guy that's like, he's a journalist. He's
Yeah.
calling people constantly. Even Karen, like, if she doesn't hear from him for like a day or two,
That's true, they did
is
establish
like,
that.
I'm gonna go find Ben.
I thought we were gonna see that scene. I
Yeah.
thought we were gonna see Karen find Ben.
We didn't need to.
no,
Yeah,
I
that
think it's
would've
better
been-
that we didn't.
But just all of the scenes that we've seen thus far in Daredevil have been like crazy dark, right?
Yeah.
Like we've seen some stuff that's like, whoa, kind of wish I didn't see that. I thought that like that's where we'd see Karen lose it. Like in my predictions, if I would have predicted last episode, I would have thought that we would have saw Karen lose it. We would have learned about Karen's past. That's just like in my mind. I was like, that's a segue into learning about Karen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it definitely didn't need to, but we could have.
I think
Yeah.
we would have gotten either one, and this was a better scene to get.
Yeah, the funeral, it was hard to watch at times. Like with his wife, I was thinking she was like, imagine she just like basically comes to
Oh my god!
as she's sitting there.
And if you had the finding scene, you would have never gotten that.
Between him and- you're right.
between either of them, between Karen and his wife.
I mean-
or
Oh,
the
man.
That was
priest
a
and-
cool
His
scene.
wife says like the meanest thing you can say to someone at a funeral, where it's like, "We never had kids, but if we had one, we would have liked to have one like you." And it's like, okay,
Well, they're
it's
too
so mean
old to
because
have.
it's-
They're too old to have
But
kids
no,
now,
it's
though.
mean because like, oh, I'm at the funeral for your dead husband who I really respected and had as a mentor, and now you're saying that he would have wanted to have me as a kid.
Oh, I thought it was
just
like-
just save that for like afterwards when we're eating, like, you know.
Mark's gonna cry. Mark's
Yeah, I
crying.
know.
No,
Like,
on the
just
inside.
save it. Just save it when we're having deli meats after the funeral. Like,
Assorted deli
I
meats.
only go to Jewish funerals, so
No,
I
it's-
don't,
no,
like,
it's-
so I only
funerals
I think that's
too.
standard across.
I associate
wants to cook.
funerals with like cow tongue.
That you got me.
Yeah, I thought it was such such a heartbreaker thing to say to Karen, where it was just like, well, you were like a daughter, and she was like, okay, well, I'm gonna cry for ever.
Another reason I'm not sleeping tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks,
I mean,
ma'am.
I think it, to me, that line was more about that she sort of, in a very small way, was a child of his.
Oh, for
like,
sure.
he brought her forward into this world of, like, you can change things. Like, you can be, he trained her, basically, to do what he did.
Oh, she remotivated him, like, for sure. He was stuck talking about like what color the subway was gonna be, and like she helped him find his fire again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was also really cool. Ben's character was really important. I mean, I graduated with like a master's in journalism, right? And so like, but in the day and age that I grew up in, it was TV, it was web, it was like paper, people like kind of stayed away from paper because they knew like people were going on the internet or TV. I was reading the LA Times and they did an article on Daredevil, and the guy that wrote it was saying like this was the truest like conviction of a journalist that has been done in any kind of superhero movie. He's like the way that he was like nobody understands, because it was paper that I was reading this in. He's like no, everybody thinks they know what I do. They think they know like as a journalist what you do and like the beats and the people you talk to and like the legwork you do, but we actually see Ben do it, and it's kind of a dying art. Yeah. And I thought it was such a bummer. Like not only was he an amazing character and a cool part of like the Marvel universe in this series, but he was also a really great and true depiction of what it is to be like a journalist, and I thought that was super cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Marvel's style to be very gritty, very like, but very real. Like while they're having crazy blind guys flying around doing kung fu kicks and like parkouring between rooftops, everything else is also very real. Yeah. It's any good science fiction or like real world fantasy is that you take one leap. This is what I've always felt about like good sci-fi, and I'm gonna sort of loop this into this. Is like you take one leap, you make one decision that's gonna change the way that this world is presented, and leave everything else as it exists. And that's what's great about Daredevil. Is like Daredevil has these powers, and like there's also some other stuff going on, but we're focused on Daredevil, and the rest of it like can sort of stay.
Yeah, we call that a buy. Like, what's the big buy of the world? It's like that there's a blind guy who can have superpowers and like that thing. Like all of the other stuff are tiny little things like the audience doesn't have to buy. But the big buy is this Daredevil thing. The rest of it's pretty much exactly how the world works.
Yeah, but except for like that journalism anymore. That's like kind of why I was pumped about it, because now journalists are like, I'm going to write online, I'm going to write on this, I'm going to do that. And he was like a paper footed journal. That's like the only thing that I thought was
I'm going to make this breaking news article a list.
Yeah.
But we have very realistic
article of what are the most horrible things Fisk is doing.
Yeah. Seriously.
Number one, he doesn't have a kitten.
Almost guarantee you it exists.
Yeah, I bet.
The funeral was a tough scene, but so let's talk about some of the other stuff that's going on in this episode. Is everything okay, guys?
Somebody in chat mentioned that there was a blue screen, so that's all I was trying to do again covertly, and I did not.
I think Matt at the funeral is really interesting because he's talking about how he feels responsible for this death. That like if he had acted before the way he wanted to, then this death wouldn't have happened. And it's with that priest again, and that priest is again just like, why don't you just be a good Catholic?
Yeah, we also saw really emotional. We didn't talk about it last episode, but Matt like was super, super raw and really emotional. I think Charlie Cox is like an amazing, like he does a great job at being an emotional superhero. Like he makes him really strong, but he also is like, hey, I've got feelings, and hey, I'm a devout Catholic, and hey, this and hey, that we don't get from a lot of superheroes. But I mean, we see him constantly feeling like everything is his fault, but he does it in a way that's not like, oh, pity me. It's like, I'm gonna change this, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, everybody on the show has been an amazing actor, and the fact that we've lost the character of Ben means that we've lost that actor, unless, like you said in the last episode, he comes back is in like flashbacks or in other shows that took place previously. That would be really cool, just because that's the thing about the deaths is we lost Wesley, Senora Cardenas, and now Ben, who are all albeit not necessarily minor but side characters. All these great performances we have lost now. And somebody actually asked in chat, what of those three would you keep from death? Like, which of Senora Cardenas, Ben, and Wesley would you not
Owsley
have
too.
wanted? He doesn't count. He didn't count.
Okay.
He was a necessary end.
Got it.
Yeah. So, as they leave the funeral and they're trying to get over this stuff, we get like they know who's behind it. Like, it's not a question of who's behind his death. But, like, how can they possibly tie him to it?
Yeah, and you really feel that helplessness that, like, Karen is feeling because, like, this was her one option. Like, this was the thing. Ben was going to post a blog about it. This was the thing she'd been fighting for this entire season, was getting a public record of what Fisk has been doing. And she'd been fighting for that this entire season, and now she feels like she's responsible for Ben's death, which she kind of is, and also
Disagree.
Also, Ben had no idea. The reason why he died is he went to Fisk's mom's place.
Yeah, I think
Without
she-
him
I
knowing.
think she's
Without him
responsible
knowing, he didn't
too.
make that choice, and she feels like she's like if they know about Ben, they can find about her very easily, and
Yeah.
like she's next, which also means Matt is next, which also means Foggy is next. Like I think she's feeling like the world kind of collapse in on her.
They're all in danger, and
Yeah.
they know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a rough place to be. I think that we get a one of the big scenes that we got in this was Leland and Fisk.
Oh my
And
god,
I want to talk
I
about
love
that
this
real quick.
scene.
Oh, so Fisk confronts him because he knows like Owlsley like is up to something.
Yeah.
Or hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah.
No, he brings him the. I guess it's because I suspect he knew.
Yeah.
That something was up. I just think he didn't know what.
Yeah.
He was distracted, I feel like, until this point where he was finally like, wait a freaking
Well,
second.
he sees that the number one we find out, and it's kind of thrown away that they won their zoning stuff. Like they own the blocks now. They can do whatever they want to.
Yeah.
And then Fisk brings Leland the stuff that Wesley was using to like put money away and take care of Vanessa. And as he's doing it, he's looking at his own finances and he realizes there's something weird going on. And so he kind of confronts Leland in this storage space, like this very tight space.
In
Under
fairness,
construction.
in fairness, they meet in some crazy places all
Yeah,
the
there are
time.
a lot of crazy places going on.
Weird places
Yeah.
in Hell's Kitchen.
But it's did you guys feel like there was a sense when Fisk says like he's like looking at the paper and he's like or I think it was when he was talking to Vanessa, he goes, it's
Yeah.
the numbers.
Yeah.
That he was like having trouble with the numbers, like not that they were wrong, but that he like maybe it's because of this like semi like on the spectrum performance that we got.
Yeah.
That I started to think like maybe he's like a little bit dyslexic.
I did not pick that up, but it's
or maybe
possible.
or maybe he like it could even
Yeah.
go like the opposite way, like maybe he knew like for a fact that Leland was going to try to BS him and like say it was the numbers, but he knows numbers so well that even if Leland's moving all of his things around, he can see the pattern and he can see that Leland, like maybe it's like he's really good with numbers, so he knows like it's the numbers.
I think the opposite. I think he trusts Wesley so much that he would do most of the checking up for him so that he wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now that he has to, he's still getting over like, damn, I wish Wesley were here or something, as well as just maybe not even being able to read that language, so to speak.
Totally.
Yeah, I get
Could be
that's what I mean. Like maybe it's just that financial numbers are like, especially in that scale,
Yeah.
are like really hard to like understand.
I think it
when
was
you
just
have like dividends and deductions
Where stuff
and
was, how it gets to one
Yeah.
place to the
mutual
other.
And that makes me
funds
think, like,
divided
how did
by
he
the
get
stock
here,
price, and-
right? Because
With Wesley
but
and
I'm not.
Owlsley.
But we don't know when he got Wesley or when he got Owlsley. We just see him as a boy and then we see him as Kingpin.
True.
So like there has to be some kind. He has to like maybe it's just his street smarts and he's just acquired people that.
Yeah,
like
I
you
mean-
guys
begins.
said. Yeah.
I mean, he's very good at motivating people. He's very good at intimidating
he's
people.
also really smart.
He's also incredibly intelligent, an incredibly intelligent businessman. Like he probably didn't have enough money for this to be a thing until he had enough money to just hire people to do it for him.
Yeah.
Like I think it makes sense. I think there he was confused because like Owlsley is saying, he's been playing a shell game to get the feds off their butt.
I thought
and
that was
off
a
the-
great dodge.
You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah, and
this
so
reason.
and so Owlsley probably is like taking stuff out and putting stuff in, like he's doing that kind of stuff. So the numbers aren't making sense. So I think it was just he was confused looking at it.
Owlsley's a smart character.
He is.
His whole like spiel.
He's
was
also a dead
so cool.
character.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there is that.
He got shafted.
I mean, but you gotta give it up to Owlsley. I just got it. Well done. Well done.
Hey, you're in host mode. We get it.
Yeah, I was thinking about the part before that where
Yeah.
he's like Owlsley's got a real smart play.
With any other villain. Like, it
with
would have
almost
worked.
anyone else. That's a brilliant move. Like, he's got leverage on him.
Yeah.
That he knows that Fisk like can't do anything about.
Yeah, and like also, like he's leaving Fisk with half. He feels like he's being very fair. Like Owsley's been probably dealing with the Magia, like the Italian mob in Hell's Kitchen, for most of his life. He's been doing the books for them, and like that mob has like a code that they live by. Like that's the guy we saw like Ben dealing with like one of the earlier episodes. Like these are like the old school Cosa Nostra Italian mafia guys that yes, they are killers, yes, they will do whatever it takes to get what they want, but they also have like a code that they live by. So Owsley's been dealing with these old school villains his entire life, cooking books for them, and now he's working for a guy who is just like this ball of rage waiting to get like just a temper tantrum. Ready to leave. Yeah.
He would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for Vanessa.
Yeah, if he hadn't come at Vanessa, it
if
would
it
have been
wasn't
fine.
for Vanessa, Owsley would be not shafted.
He was so good at dodging every little thing, but he went, nope, I'm gonna tell him the truth about this, which was the stupidest thing he could have done.
So true.
Why?
It's like, what were we gonna do? And like Gao,
It's okay. I have leverage.
Yeah.
You're an idiot.
yeah,
And he's
Gao's
got that
turned into a hummingbird and flown away, and now like he's just left by
that's a long
himself.
flight.
You
Like,
don't have a magical old Chinese lady to protect you anymore, Owsley.
I know, and Owsley
idiot.
has that whole sass
Yeah.
to where like half the time he talks, I'm like, he's gonna punch him in the face. Like no matter the whole series, I'm like, he's gonna punch him in the face, getting punched this episode. And as soon as he admitted to it, I was like, ooh, he's actually getting punched in the face. I didn't think he was gonna die though. I thought he was just gonna get the crap beat out of him.
Yeah,
But I like that his backup was a taser.
yeah,
Just, I got him. Crap.
yeah.
And just
That
done.
didn't work.
It's like, oh no, this is a tank of a
It's
man.
like,
Yeah.
well, that just pissed him off. It's like shooting a werewolf with regular bullets.
So true.
You hurt me. You hurt Vanessa.
Also, tasering someone who's making physical contact with you is never a great idea.
I didn't realize that.
you
Hold on, while I'm tasing you, let me drink this
Oh,
water.
yeah, I'll stand in this pool of liquid.
I was gonna hold on to this rebar while I electrocute you.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, it was a solid. It was a more than solid scene.
Yeah.
And it was a good death for Owsley.
Yeah, Fisk is really like getting his hands dirty. His body count is going up now. Like last episode, now this episode, like within the first third, he puts Owsley down a shaft. Like he's racking it up. He's
Especially by his
uncontrollable.
own hand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, he's a big dude.
Yeah.
He can mess you up without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
I don't think you can anymore.
No, I don't
It just
think-
happens and he's like, I feel better. It's like a stress ball.
Yeah.
Ah, killing people is a stress ball.
But so
Lurking back
immediately from there, he's like, get out there,
Find
find Hoffman.
yeah.
Because Hoffman, who like is the only guy left alive at this point,
And-
that knows, that can really like give all the information.
and could take the entire thing down. He's the pin that if it gets pulled, the entire thing comes toppling down.
Yep. And he's out there. So they send, and this is what you were starting to talk about before.
Yeah.
But like, he sends in a hit squad of cops.
Yeah, like just I was like, oh, he's probably gonna have like masked, nameless guys. No, it's just the police.
Well, that's even worse of a hit because these are the people that worked for you and we're sending them to kill you and put a bullet in your head.
Well, and I think it's also like help painting that like Fisk has the cops in his pocket. He has the media in his pocket. Like, how do you fight someone who the law cannot touch? And like, I think that's kind of like forcing this vigilantism that we're seeing in the Marvel universe, is that these people are so powerful that you can't use regular means in order to stop them, because he sent a police hit squad. Like, it was just beat cops. Like, what are they doing? Like, what if there was someone speeding in Hell's Kitchen that day?
Then they got away with it.
They got away
That's why
with
crime
it.
is rampant.
Yeah, I guess.
But using the regular cops allowed us to be surprised when later in the episode when that super professional like SWAT team released him from custody, and the one dude from the FBI. So it's like, oh, he's got cops. Don't worry, the cops are gone.
Yeah.
Oh no, he didn't. He got higher.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like, you thought this was the worst thing. Oh,
It gets It gets worse.
Yeah, they do a lot of digging in this like episode into like how much he's integrated. Like Fisk has really like integrated his people into the police department, and basically like he's got like almost everybody except like that one cop who wants his mom to stop smoking cigars.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, what was his name?
I don't know, but he's cute.
Oh, I wrote it.
I like him.
Cigar cop.
Yeah.
Cigar cop.
We'll call him cigars.
Mom who probably smokes a lot of cigar cop.
Yeah. Anyway,
just
which side note, by the way, when Hoffman walks into the station, and you look over his shoulder, we've seen this like in one or two episodes before, but if in case I don't know if we talked about it on this podcast,
We haven't yet.
in the background
Stanley
is the employee of the month or like whatever, and
Officer
it's
of the month.
Yeah. It's Officer Stanley.
Excelsior.
Just here to do my job.
His name is Brett, apparently, is what the role is saying, the live chat saying. I would like to say that...
the cop, not
the cop,
not
yeah.
Stanley.
Yeah, no. Two things about the when they find Hoffman.
Yeah.
Number one, when is pizza too like hard to carry? That was his excuse.
Wait,
Like
to cross
it was
that
like
fence?
It was like no. It was like no sandwiches. Like no, pizza's too hard to carry. It's like what is pizza?
The boxes, you know.
Well, you got like 6 guys. Probably have to get like 3 pies. They've been working hard.
That's and number two. Hoffman orders a meatball sub, which we have seen Hoffman with a meatball sub before, and the last time he had it, it had a syringe full of "Kill My Best Friend" in it, and
That's an actual drug. I know physicians. That's true.
RX, "Kill My Best Friend."
2, please.
I love little details like that they put in the show where it's like, oh yeah, that's right, that's his favorite sandwich, and like we forgot about that.
But then there's that extra bit because we only knew that was his partner's favorite sandwich.
Yeah.
So that means they shared the favorite sandwich, and that's even more sad that he had to kill him with
That's
one.
probably how they became best friends, was over
They
subs.
just met at the. It's like, hey, I'm getting lunch. What do you want? Meatballs? So, oh, me too. That's crazy.
Yeah, let's become best cop friends. And then old the devil of Hell's Kitchen shows up and slowly pulls out a chair.
That was an
I'm
Sorry,
surprised
Mark,
that we didn't hear the poo escaping Hoffman's buttocks and entering his pants at that point, because I think everybody would have been pooing themselves, just like.
Thank you for that sound effect.
You're welcome.
In case the audience was wondering what that would sound
It's for
like.
our audio fans.
no, it's I mean, imagine you just like shut your eyes. And when I talked about my feelings on that shot earlier, but you shut your eyes, you open them, and there's just
one guy.
This one guy doing like a crazy flip kick move to take out the last of these cops that just killed like 5 guys in an instant.
Yeah.
And then he just walks up to you and says, "You're gonna go turn yourself in.
Yeah.
And if you don't, I'm gonna be following you, and then you're gonna wish they'd shot you in the face."
Yeah. That was fantastic. And then he agrees to it. Hoffman agrees to it, and then he punches Hoffman in the face.
Well, no, I think it was more like, sure, I'll go do that. Nope.
Yeah.
I think that's more of what they were trying to go for.
Oh, but that
knows.
was, I mean, it was great. And Hoffman goes and turns himself in, and that's when basically everybody starts
We get that Godfather
getting arrested.
sequence. Yeah.
But elsewhere in the build up to this,
Elsewhere.
I want to talk about Foggy.
Sure. Let's get Fog down.
Foggleton.
Because Foggy and Matt really in the
Boxing.
Daredevil
You see their slow reconciliation.
romance. Yeah,
Told you,
like
Daredevil.
in the boxing gym.
Yeah.
Foggy comes up. It's like, "I knew you were coming here, but I thought it was just because you're dead." I don't know. He's like
Now
a
I
wise
see
old
why.
man in my head, I guess.
Now I see why. Yeah.
But this is the beginning. I mean, we knew that we knew that Foggy eventually had to like forgive him,
Yeah.
just logistically to the show. How did you guys feel about this? How this scene played out?
I mean, I thought it was good. I was hoping that, I feel like I was a little disappointed with the episodes leading up to the finale. I just thought that there could have been the reconciliation in, the last episode. I just feel like it was too long. We know Foggy, you need some time to think what's going on, but I don't know. It was good. It was like a good scene, but I just expected it to come a little quicker than it did, you know?
Yeah, I'd expect that, but I think it helped with the are they, will they or won't they? It's like a Pam and Jim situation. But it was more of all of the stuff that they have to deal with, what all can they deal with in the last episode, wrap stuff up, while keeping the audience in suspense, if, like us, they were going week to week.
Yeah, they did a great job, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's as well as I think they've handled this with Foggy reacting very realistically. I think it was also kind of a fact that they were coming up against the fact that they were on their 13th episode, so it was like we have to find a way to patch this, and also I mean they're best buds. They probably eat meatball subs together.
Avocados at law.
They're they're avocados. So like I think it was a good scene. I like that it was set in the same gym that is like we see the poster of Creole versus Murdoch.
That
like,
ridiculous insanity.
Yeah, so I think I like that it was kind of set there that this is where Matt goes to kind of like remember who he is basically and remember what he's fighting for.
Yeah, cool symbolism.
So I think there was a lot of interesting like kind of backstory that was happening that wasn't being said there.
Yeah, and I mean that's where like after that they go and they're like gonna work together. They go to Brett and they're like, "Hey Brett, you know,
Yeah.
some
Yo, bruh.
some stuff."
That nose, yo?
And he drops a Serpico reference.
Yeah,
That made the room
Kangaroo court.
that made us pop pretty heavy.
yeah, that was that. I mean, it was a cool scene. I liked the that Brett is like that he believed him.
Yeah.
We actually didn't get a chance to talk about it in our last recap, but yeah, that moment where Daredevil, or I guess he's still the Man in Mask. So like where Matt like tells him like I'm not your whole police force is corrupt.
Yeah.
I'm not the bad guy here.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, well, what reason does this guy have to... I think Brett's mind in that point is like, why would this guy lie? And here he's like, yeah, why would that guy lie?
Yeah.
We know we think he's a villain. By saying that, it doesn't like clear him or anything.
But he didn't kill him.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, if he killed all those other people, we would have no problem killing me, but left him alive.
Yeah. And that's the beginning of what becomes like a very important trust, because they realize that he is not corrupt.
Yeah.
At all.
Which they would always hoped for throughout the series. And they kind of figured it out.
I mean, from the top, like, you know that these are like old, like, quote-unquote friends.
Yeah. Can we get to the Godfather sequence?
Yes,
now?
and then after all this, like they get the confessional,
which is fantastic. Karen's in there for some reason. Like,
she's their
secretary.
She's their legal assistant.
Yeah, so she could have been taking notes.
Yeah, it's legal proceedings. She absolutely has every right to be in that.
I don't think you would just have your attorney anyway. She's in there just so she can get like a little like a moment in there.
Got him.
And we see like Hoffman blows the horn, man. He's blowing whistles. Hoffman
probably, I mean, like, he seemed like an innately good character until the things that Fisk turned him into and made him do.
Yeah.
So I feel like he was very happy to be like, I'm a bad man.
Get that
like,
weight
this
off
is
his
what
chest.
I did.
I'm glad they cleaned the blood off his face.
Yeah. What, like they just took him right from? And
yeah.
It's like
he had the same clothes on, but the
How
blood.
did nobody in the police station like stop him before he got to the desk?
He had the blood on his face.
Yeah, in the police station when he's walking up.
But when he's giving his deposition, he doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But like when he's walking into the police station, like there's a fairly long hall before he gets to the desk, and people are looking. Like we see a bunch of people like look at him and then go about their business.
I think it's more of a
welcome to Hell's Kitchen.
I thought those other guys were supposed to take care. Like I think it wasn't. There are citizens here reporting crimes. We can't act yet. but we got to call this in. And then by that time, it's too late.
Have you guys seen Seven, the movie Seven?
Yeah.
It reminded me of the scene when the bad guy, and I'm not saying that I'm paralleling the two, but it reminded me of that scene where he went in and everybody kind of like just stops and like, what the heck? And like doesn't say anything because they just don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's a
They're just
weird
kind of
thing.
confused
Yeah.
by
It's
it.
Like, you're supposed to be dead
Yeah.
twice.
Then your face is what? Like just a whole bunch of confusion.
Seen some biz.
So we see Turk running from the cop.
Yeah.
Turk, who has his power is the black cats, except he just has bad luck. Like that's it. He never gets
the
to
reverse,
switch it.
yeah.
He never gets to put it on anyone else. He just just like the go-to. Like even if they hadn't mentioned Turk, I feel like the police would have rounded him up anyway. Just like, let's just get Turk while we're at it. Like,
Again.
Yeah.
All right.
He'll be out. I think he'll be another one of those characters.
Yeah,
that keeps coming
Turk.
back.
Yeah.
I mean, they brought like I think it was great to have him in this like scene at the end where he's getting arrested because he was the first guy we saw Matt beat up as Daredevil. So it's fitting that like we see him come full circle and get arrested.
Yeah, you got to bookend it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we could definitely see him getting beat up by Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and Iron Fist. Like
Crap beat out of him.
Just everyone beats him up.
I would love to see Kristen Ritter fight Turk.
Yeah, well, I'd like to see Turk empty a clip on Luke Cage and just be like, uh-oh.
Imagine if he's the first person all of the defenders take down.
That's really funny.
And that's where we see everybody's kind of ability.
And then
sort
at the
of
end,
thing.
he's like finally like God, and he's like, yeah,
Stiltman.
I got my crew. I got a crew together. You guys like gonna run this town. Everybody else been taken out by these 4 heroes.
Yeah.
And then he's like, it's my turn. And then the 4 defenders
just
walk
come
in.
out.
They're like, God damn it, Turk! I thought we told you.
Yeah.
British guy.
But we also see the cops, all the corrupt cops get arrested.
The cops get marched out. The FBI is called in.
Yeah.
The
The-
cops. The
lady who works with Ben, like
Yeah,
that was a
that
big
you call.
That was
Yeah.
nuts.
That's not the editor-in-chief. It's the girl that got a little bit too much camera time
in
episode 12.
I was like, why? There was a scene in episode 12 where it was Ben just being like, "Hey, where's the editor?" And she's like, "He's not here." And then it just lingers.
Then it just
on
held
her.
on her. It's
And I
like-
was like, "Oh, she's the corrupt one." Like, why would you show this scene to us?
They really liked that cut, but thought that they could get a couple of extra seconds out of that. That's
yeah.
I was so bummed that Ben will never know that it wasn't like because that guy has always been like a protagonist.
Yeah.
I feel like he really was trying to help Ben and like he was just trying to move his paper along with the times and like he never did anything malicious and like
no, he was a good guy, and then
He
like
kept
eventually.
offering Ben like a promotion.
Yeah, he was really trying to help him, but like when
Especially
it came
his
down
wife.
to it, what was the last thing Ben did is accuse him of being corrupt,
That's what
and
I'm
this guy is
saying.
clean, so he took massive offense to that.
Yeah.
no.
But now, I mean, that guy is gonna have like when he sees her get arrested, that there was somebody corrupt
know.
in the paper.
His face was like what?
it said it all.
It's
His face
like-
said
Yeah, it
everything.
really
I mean,
did.
basically, he feels responsible now.
Yeah.
He feels guilt, like he feels like it's his fault that,
He should.
that Ben died.
I wish Ben knew.
We also see Senator Cherry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And either Landman or Zach
Yeah,
get
whichever
picked
one.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We don't know.
The lawyer who was like,
Cancer.
like, sure you got cancer, but like you shouldn't have told your doctor about your
Yeah.
cancer.
One of my favorite things is one of the Easter eggs that people have posted about is the aria that was playing over the sequence is from Puccini's Turandot. It's called the Nessun Dorma or the None Shall Sleep. The actual lyrics are, "But my secret is hidden within me. No one will know my name. No, no. On your mouth I will say it when the light shines. Vanish, O night. Fade you stars, fade you stars. At dawn I will win. I will win. I will win." Sound like
All
a
right,
friend of ours?
you guys are doing
Sounds like Fisk.
too good
Yeah.
Daredevil makers at like layering and making this just an epic, amazing like compilation of greatness.
Yeah.
I don't know where.
Stop
Super
it.
beautiful.
Basically, I enjoyed your.
And then we get to see Fisk, the kingpin of crime, with his lady love.
Yeah.
And he says like there are 2 things I need you to do. We don't get to hear what they
want you
are,
to do
but we
something for
assume it's like set up the
escape
special
chopper.
agents. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the escape chopper.
So I'll probably call like a deadline, like she's like says a code word,
Yeah.
like the Kingpin is in the nest. Like maybe that was how she called it, like Kingpin. And they're like, oh, all right, so we gotta like go shoot some people.
And then,
Just that casually.
Yeah.
And
We
then
gotta
we
go
see,
shoot some people.
and then we see him like, again, the best love story in all of Marvel. He pulls out a ring for her, and like as he's being taken away, he's like, "You are my heart," like, and it was like, like I was like, oh, that's such a nice thing to say to someone, like.
But at the same time, the FBI is taking him away, and she's just like, what?
Standing
Just
there with
standing
a
there.
ring.
Nobody's questioning her or anything.
Yeah,
I noticed that too. I was like, really? They're just gonna leave her there? Like, she's
I'll be right back for you. And
They
she's
all
gone.
walked out. There was no like. You question at minimum. You question her.
Especially
Yeah.
that last dude who was like standing with her, just like, oh, well, like, I guess everybody's leaving, so I should go too.
Guys, don't take the van without me again.
Johnson's gonna take my front seat again. Shotgun.
Like, I would even say like there's a chance like she gets brought down to the station with him. No.
Yeah, absolutely. She's like,
Like, not arrested,
accessory to a
but-
crime. They don't know what she's guilty of yet.
Yeah,
they have no clue.
Yeah.
It's the FBI too. It's like
They can do what they
that's the
want.
top of the top.
Yeah.
She should be going.
Did anybody notice that it was the FBI and not S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Sure. Well, if this takes place after Winter Soldier, there is no.
Oh, is it supposed to be after Winter
I
Soldier?
don't know.
You know,
I heard
they-
it's either after Avengers or after Winter Soldier.
It's actually funny.
It is
There's,
definitely
Yeah,
after
that's how I saw
Avengers.
it.
it's definitely after Avengers.
Yeah.
They haven't really set up. I think they left it intentionally vague
Yeah.
as to when exactly it falls between there. I don't think it's important.
No,
Is
but
the
I think it would be
basic
cool
thing.
to just see like somebody from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. like May, we have to handle this or something. But
Well, but
they
there's-
grounded it by having it be the FBI.
And the thing is, there's nothing for
Superhuman.
S.H.I.E.L.D. to
True.
be involved in there. Like, Daredevil's not on the spot yet. There's like a man in a mask running around, but that's like barely on. I mean, I imagine that S.H.I.E.L.D. has put him on the registry.
Yeah.
Or on the enhanced list, whatever it's called at this point in time.
Well, if it's
Yeah.
after the Avengers and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they're like somewhere in South America, like going after artifacts.
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
that's just that team. Like
Yeah,
at that point,
that's true.
There's like
There's
a
a bunch of
massive
shit. Yeah.
organization.
Yeah.
I think it would be after Winter Soldier, though.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that stands to reason, just based on its release date.
Can we see a year on any of the bulletin news reports? No.
No,
All right.
and it's all old stuff anyway, so it'd be hard to say. But I think they leave it intentionally vague. Regardless, I like that it's not S.H.I.E.L.D. because that would have
too.
like as much as I would love to see Agent May pop up
Yeah.
and take down Kingpin.
Yeah.
We didn't need it.
We didn't.
It's unnecessary for this show.
I agree.
There was just enough connectivity with just like the Avengers. And they reminded us before Ben died when he brought out the paper.
Yeah.
That like, remember this is the MCU and everything is connected. It's all connected.
Yeah. And then after that, we get our awesome celebration sequence where they're all drinking and they're like, they won. This is what's important. You know, the people that you care about are safe. Your home is safe. Matt's super happy. They're all back together. The team's together.
I actually paused my Netflix to see how much time was left in the show. I'm serious. As soon as this happened, I was like, no. I paused it. I was like, something's gonna happen, and then
It had the touch of somberness too, with a toast to everybody they lost, and it was nice. It was like, cool, we can all put that behind us.
no. But that scene, the best scene in my opinion in this episode was him telling that story just so in his Fisk voice. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Are you talking about the Good Samaritan? The
man
across the road.
And the way, like, the parallels and everything, that story was so beautifully written. I was so impressed. Like, he thought of himself, and it's so perfect because he thought of himself as, like,
As the Samaritan.
this good
The
Samaritan who was going to
Samaritan,
pick up the city that was
Yeah.
left ill, right? People have passed the city many times, and he thought he was going to pick up the city. And then he goes on to say, like, he basically tells the audience, like, I've turned into Kingpin because
the ill
now
intent.
when I look at the story, like, I'm the ill intent. Like, I'm the reason why the first two people passed the city.
Yeah.
Like, that's who I am. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
what? Like, soul wrenching. Such a cool story. I'm like, it's about to go down. Somebody's going to die. Everybody's going to die.
Yeah.
Something's going to happen.
I wrote, why so serious has nothing on this. And then I also have a theory that the FBI agent that kills the other FBI agent wasn't one of Fisk's men originally. I think he was a regular FBI agent. I think that story mixed with hearing all of his friends or his other agents get murdered, he was like, oh,
I don't want to die today.
I'm gonna be on the winning side, and does that. I don't think he was one of Fisk's guys. I think when he was like, all right, here you go, sir. Like Mr. Like it seemed kind of wooden.
But didn't he
weird.
tell him to stop? He's like, no, let him talk. Like that's what made me think that he was inside.
Doesn't matter anyway.
I mean, I guess, but I think that's. I don't know if that's telling like anything. Like, I think it was just. I don't know. I like to think that FBI agent turned out to be a real jerkwad.
He was one of Fisk's guys because they said over the radio, "Go ahead and open it up," and he opened it up.
Yeah, but they were saying that like from outside, like they were yelling like "open it up," and the other agent goes and like, "We'll kill it. Like we'll shoot him if you guys try and open this up."
But the way he was saying it,
It was
like,
unexpected. I honestly, first watching this, I was not expecting him to be a Fisk guy.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure.
I don't think he was. I think he turned.
Well,
it could go either way.
Yeah.
It's a cool theory.
Yeah.
At the bare minimum, it's a cool theory. But yeah, that was a great speech. And just like I want to go back to the celebration real quick because in the last podcast we were talking a little bit about how alcohol plays a central role.
Sure.
To a lot of, and like they were celebrating around with this alcohol, and they're like, "Yeah, we did it," and then no. Fisk gets out. And
so like it was kind of a precursor. Like alcohol is usually tied to bad stuff and them reacting to it, but they used it instead and flipped by drinking alcohol beforehand. The bad stuff happened after that.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's around there.
Too much.
I don't know. We have to like do an in-depth breakdown of it. Like,
Coming next week.
So then from there we get the big final sequence of this show, and like
we also get
first up let's take
singing that in my head.
First let's take a little trip to Potter's shop.
Yeah,
I love Potter.
We get a hero shot of the Stiltman stilts,
which is I had to go back and see.
It's so
because I blinked.
So fantastic. We also see that Potter has buzzsaws on his table, which are like a huge part.
Yeah,
of
and he
the
has designs for like new ones.
Yeah. Like that's a huge part of the Gladiators like suit is the buzzsaws. So
didn't we see a couple episodes ago like the logo?
We saw the logo in the back, and we also like he threw a buzzsaw. So,
he straight up threw one into a wall like a ninja star.
Yeah. So we got that, and he's still worried about the woman. And
I know. I wanted him to meet. I wanted Daredevil to bring him Betsy.
Oh, is it Betsy his social worker?
Yeah. Betsy is his social worker
therapist,
or
right?
girlfriend. Like we know that she's very important, and that she helps him.
I wanted him to bring her, and I just wanted to see him like Betsy. You
like
know,
that's
like,
the epilogue. Just like
pumped.
Here she is. She will be safe.
Yeah, she is
for
safe now.
a year.
I have gotten her.
But he does that like she's gonna be safe now. He's like, I'm gonna take care of it tonight. And then he gets the suit.
Oh man.
Okay, do you guys like...
let's talk about the suit.
Who's for the suit and who is not for the suit?
I'm pro-suit.
Pro-suit.
I'm anti-suit.
Okay. I am mixed on the suit.
The suit was a little too Ben Affleck for me.
I think this is a transitional suit.
Yeah.
Because we don't know when the next series is going to pick up. I think this is just like, all right, yeah, we'll give him the suit, and then when it starts up, he'll have like a version, a Mark II or a Mark III.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. Like the whole Spider-Man thing.
Or Iron Man.
Ben Affleck's suit was just a leather fetish suit.
Yeah.
But it was just shiny. You know, like you know what I'm talking about? It looks pleathery. Like this suit looks...
This suit was armor. It looked like armor, and it had like this mesh kind of like armor. It looked like dragon skin.
Exactly.
Like that the troops weren't allowed to buy. But it looked like the dragon skin kind of armor where it was like layered like that with like the little divots. Like it looked like a combat suit.
Yeah, I agree.
On a lawyer, would you call it
nope, don't
blah suit?
No, it wouldn't.
Hey, Steven, could you drink that pot of acid over there? Thank you.
Oh, it's burning through his stomach.
Great.
Oh my gosh.
Probably should have muted the microphone before
goes
you
Lemieux.
All right.
I thought it looked awesome. It looked like a combat suit. I thought the horns, like that's the big part of the suit. Is like, do the horns look dumb?
I thought the mask I liked the mask. I thought the cowl looked really good. In the stills that I had seen, because like that was the one thing I couldn't avoid. In all this, like we wanted to say it before, we didn't get a chance. You guys were awesome.
So good at
not spoiling.
Oh my god!
Literally, the suit just was, and that's Netflix's fault.
Yeah.
And
Jerks.
anybody writing reviews use that as the header.
Yeah, and like, but that was the only thing in all of Daredevil that got spoiled for me.
Yeah.
Me too.
You guys were fantastic.
And we took
Thank
a
you, thank you,
while
thank
to
you,
get
thank
through
you,
this.
thank
and
you.
we're
Fantastic.
reading the live chat. We're reading all of your like responses to us. We're reading your tweets at us. Like you guys gave us 0 spoilers. So big applause for you guys. Like seriously. Yeah.
Thank you.
So anyway, but so my feelings on the suit, I liked the cowl. I think
Yeah.
it looked good. In stills, I didn't think it like really
Me
captured
either.
it. In movement, I thought
It
that
looks
helmet
great,
looked really
yeah.
cool.
I totally agree with that.
I wasn't like this. The rest of the suit was like it was good. You're right. It felt like a combat suit. Like it felt
Yeah.
like this is like something somebody would wear.
Yeah.
It felt realistic that way. But it did. There was something about it that like didn't quite land right. Felt a little bit cartoonish.
I like how Potter explained like the red parts could survive like a knife. Like he was explaining like what was safe
Yeah,
about it and it wasn't
I mean,
finished. I think that was
In
really cool.
theory, everything that he was saying, I was like, cool, pumped
Yeah.
to see this. And then when I saw him standing, I was like, huh. But then when I saw him fighting, I was like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
But just like as when you look too long at it, and of course, like this is a TV show. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that it should look like somebody's really the Daredevil and should go out and fight, but it was just a little like. The red was, I don't know, it was okay. It was like an okay.
And
it
Matt's
wasn't,
just sitting there while Potter's talking, like, I'm gonna have to go ask Foggy which color is which.
But I think it's less about what it looks like in the light as opposed to what it looks like in the dark.
Yeah.
If
Okay,
people
symbolism.
if people are down an alley and this dude with horns walks down, like we're flipping out of here. So it's not really important. It's
a good point.
The reveal shot was for us, but as a usable suit, it's
It's very
protective.
practical, yeah.
It's very practical, and when people see it like above them, they get the fear.
Yeah.
just struck straight into them.
Word
I really like the horns. I thought that was like
Oh, yeah.
it could have looked so bad.
It could have.
And they did it perfect. Like it wasn't like the weird like curved horns that they have in the books,
opening.
which work for that works for a comic book because it's a comic book. But in the real world, like seeing like a guy out there like I'm gonna get you, like it's not gonna work. Like I'm the devil.
I'm just imagining him with a pitchfork, like,
Yeah.
"Ah,
Yeah.
you're going to hell.
But his weapon is just
so cool.
good. So good. But that fight, how good was that fight?
crazy good.
I had a wide smile on the whole time.
I wish I had enough time to do a play-by-play.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I noticed that I said while we were watching it was he pulled out his finishing move first.
Yeah.
To test and see how far he had to go. And then as he was using his martial arts moves, he ended up going back to fists up and straight up boxing, which
Yeah.
I thought was awesome.
Super cool.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. It was a big spacing fight. Like it was like Fisk wants to close the space and Daredevil wants to keep it far away.
Yeah.
And like whenever Fisk was able to close that space, Daredevil got punished real bad.
Like with his E Honda back forward
Yeah.
punch, like that was the most just a charging headbutt where he's
Yeah.
just fully off the ground. Perfect.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
accept.
a lot of shoulder slams
Oh,
out of
God.
Fisk.
Headbutts.
Headbutts. A lot of just picking him up and throwing him across and having
Body
Yeah.
throw.
Yeah,
Everything everything was so cool. The director Jonathan DeKnight did this episode, and he's the guy that did Spartacus, and like
Yeah.
he's like known for crazy like amazing fight scenes and they don't look cheesy. Like the whole fight scene, I was like, I don't know why, but I believe this could happen.
The
Everything in this fight is really happening
The
right
fight
now. I believe it all.
choreographer really loves that spin kick, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that, like rolling
parkour.
spin in the air, like well, bam.
Yeah.
That's
And-
that's the
That's
sound
what it
effect.
sounds like.
And I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like this fight was not like as realistic as the hallway fight.
Oh, no.
If someone's
Yeah.
getting thrown into a thing and getting beaten with rebar, like they're not gonna get up. But I think the reason for that is because of the narrative power that this fight had. Like this was the fight that this entire season was building up to. So we needed to see these two characters go literally blow for blow with each other and kind of work out. And like Fisk is yelling things like, I thought this town deserved a savior, but it deserves to drown in its filth with people like you and my father. Like that's such like a like, oh Fisk, I get who you are now. Like
Yeah,
you are the
daddy
Kingpin.
issues.
Yeah.
He truly, I mean, in that moment, like, Daredevil becomes, like, Matt Murdock becomes Daredevil. He steps out as the symbol of Hell's Kitchen, and Fisk becomes Kingpin.
He really does.
And not just with the fight, but because he's wearing a white suit.
At the end, we finally get a white suit payoff.
That was a brilliant choice, because you couldn't have him running around in a white suit.
Yeah.
Really quick back on the costume, because somebody brought it up in chat. Was anybody bummed that it wasn't yellow?
I mean, that was the original suit, but I'm okay.
I think it would have been worse if it was yellow.
I think I'm fine without the yellow.
I think yellow is a difficult suit to pull off.
Especially if you're like trying to hide at night.
Yeah.
I would love, like, in season 2, if they can give us like some kind of joke about yellow.
What if there's like a Hall of Armor and the second one was yellow, and he's like, that one did not work out at all, and then he's got the one that's actually
Well, I mean,
using.
he could give the Moon Knight excuse where, like, the Moon Knight wants to be seen. Like, even though he's at night, he wants to strike fear in people and to see, like, this menacing thing coming towards you. But yeah, if you're stealth, which is what Matt relies on, yellow is not the color to go.
Yeah, and they stay away from the cheese too. Like the last thing that they said about the Daredevil, they're like, Daredevil, like that sounds a little whatever.
Matt laughs it off too.
Exactly. I thought it was cool they laughed that off. I thought it was really, avocado.
And so let's before we wrap out this fantastic podcast.
Yeah, who won?
Well, I want to talk about that last scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll get to the fun part.
Man, that last scene.
Making us wait.
Yeah, I mean, it was a cute little scene.
It was cute. That's a good way to describe it. It was a cute little scene.
It's
cute. It's cute.
Avocados and love.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
See, I didn't read any Daredevil in that last scene at all.
No.
Really?
I didn't feel any. I think she's still dealing with the fact that she killed someone. Like, I think that last look she gave was like this look of like, I'm a murderer still. Like,
she smiled at the end when he pulled out his hand. He went like this, and she was like.
And she didn't just grab it; she wrapped around her finger,
like
his finger.
You could see her fight for that smile. So, like, that was a giving in smile. I don't think it was a happy smile.
I thought that was like a coy smile.
No, I think she's still.
You can think what you want to. I'm just telling you what I think.
I know.
I thought.
And we crumble at the end.
Yeah.
We're having a discussion.
I'm back from the dead. I feel like it's a smile where she's nervous because it's like whenever things are going too well. But I feel like it was a smile, but it was a smile that she trusts him to protect her from what's coming.
And not necessarily a romantic smile. And if it was just on her end, not from his.
Absolutely.
I think she is protecting herself right now. She's not ready for anything like that at this point. She killed a guy recently.
Yeah, I think she's still dealing with that. Yeah.
But I definitely felt. I definitely felt like romantic tension there.
Oh, I didn't.
I'm glad they didn't do it. Or like they didn't like kiss in that moment. But I thought they were going to.
I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad they didn't too.
Yeah.
You're right. There's so much romantic tension built up between them the entire season on her part, not on his part. But I think the last bit of it, I think it was just a little bit like I think they were playing towards next season. Like maybe we'll see more of that with them after she deals with her issues.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we end on the wall.
Oh my God, Fisk!
That was
so good.
Cool.
We end on the wall.
Sitting there staring at the rabbit in the snowstorm.
I know.
So good.
Makes me feel calm.
Yeah.
He's got to stare at that for a year.
Vanessa gets away.
A year before trial.
A year before trial, yeah. Vanessa gets away, and we end on just looking at that rabbit in a snowstorm.
Crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she takes off in the helicopter.
Yeah.
Am I the only
Puts
one
the
who...
ring on.
Sorry.
Go. Who are you the only one of?
I'm the only one of the people in the booth that nobody cares to hear from. No, am I the only one who thinks that season 1 or season 2 could open up with just Fisk in court and people coming and mowing down everyone in court?
That's exactly how I think it's going to be.
Yeah.
Really?
100%.
I
think he's just going to be out.
Predictions.
Yeah, I think Fisk finds a legal way out of court.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think he's too powerful to really go to jail.
Yeah.
Because here's the big thing. Hoffman said in that whole meeting, I met with a guy who represented Fisk.
Yeah.
That gives Fisk plausible deniability because he never made that meeting happen. It was all Wesley who's dead.
But he also met with Fisk, asks him to kill his partner. Like that, they were there they were both there together.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were in the car together.
That meeting, they were in the car together. Like
and that alone.
And
they
Fisk
were
talked to him.
Yeah, they were at least at a level where he was meeting with Fisk. So I was thinking about that too, but I was like, oh no, they've met a bunch of times together.
But that's just one person's testimony. There's nothing other than that, other than Hoffman's testimony.
Yeah.
And unless
the
they can
fact
get
that
some of these other guys to flip.
Everyone killed everyone while Fisk was escaping from that armored car. And
Yeah.
there's
Fair
several
enough.
tens of FBI agents dead in the wake of Fisk.
Yeah, that alone can
But
get
again,
you...
he didn't pull the trigger. And that's
No.
where I think he, like,
No,
his,
but
like,
also his
he might
financial-
have an out.
His financial, like all of his records, like are now seized by the FBI, like all of that kind of stuff.
Oh, he's going to have some trouble. I'm just saying, I think...
3 months for good behavior.
I think that he may have a way
Community
out
service.
of it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And like, just because he doesn't have money doesn't mean he can't get a great lawyer
Yeah.
just through sheer blackmail.
Yeah.
Very true.
He clearly still has some power because he was able to arrange like a hit squad to come out and bust him out of an armored car.
Yeah.
So the main question that everybody wants to know, what you guys think, is next season going to be Fisk-centered, or are we going to get new villains?
I think Fisk is going to be like a shadow in the background, and I think I think what everyone wants is Bullseye.
Well, just because we got that tease,
Yeah.
we got a lot of teases, Stiltman, so it's possible that he's just going to be pulling the strings, like you said.
Yeah, like I think we might get like multiple villains. I think we might get Gladiator, who is kind of like an anti-hero, sometimes a villain. We could get Taskmaster. We could get
That would be cool.
Paladin. We could get like there are a lot of kind of like
Oh man, this would be a
Like-
great show to introduce Taskmaster on.
yeah. Like it's kind of perfect for his power set. Like we could get a lot of it could introduce Moon Knight, which I know that they're talking about doing, and Moon Knight is often considered a villain and a good guy. So like
And depending on what
Yeah.
side Elektra will be on first.
Oh yeah, also Elektra for sure.
Because that was confirmed.
So then-
that they're casting.
In the hand.
Oh.
Like
Oh, in the hand.
in the hand for sure.
They were casting notices for
Yeah.
Elektra that they
Whoa.
pulled really fast.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I will say, though, there's a chance that Fisk doesn't leave jail at all.
Yeah.
No, he pulls the strings from jail.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah.
him that much more powerful. I
That's
believe
actually
that too.
very true. Like
I mean,
he
he's safe in jail.
Yeah. That's a power move. That's a
Yeah.
powerful man who can run
Vanessa,
a criminal empire.
They do
from
not
jail.
have conjugal.
Send me another cake.
I need some Zupa.
Bring me.
Every night.
Zupa.
Zupa. Inglese.
I need a frame
Yeah.
for my prison.
This is nothing like Orange is the New Black.
Oranges.
Oranges.
The new black.
all right. Settle down, everyone. Settle
What? We're all
down.
fisking.
Do you want me to Fisk?
Yay!
That's everybody's new ringtone now.
I think, as for the question that Steven posed, I think that we are going to get multiple villains, like
Yeah.
multiple name villains. I think Bullseye is absolutely going to be one of them.
One of the first, I think.
I don't think we're going to get, like, Moon Knight. I think that's a bit of a stretch. Because he is a hero of sorts, I think they're going to want to hold on to that.
Yeah.
Because, like, he's a character that could carry a show. And I think Marvel's got to like hold a few of those. There's the rumors of the new shows that they're producing beyond like the 4 and up to the Defenders.
Yeah.
I've heard rumors about Blade,
Punisher.
Punisher, and
Yeah.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah. Mhm.
Because Marvel got all of those rights back.
Yes.
For those 3 properties.
Yeah.
So no Galactus sitcom.
No.
I'd watch it.
He eats a Dagwood sandwich with
With
just
just
planets
walls.
in it.
That'd be fantastic. That should be their April Fool's parody trailer. It's
Yeah.
a parody for Galactus.
What's sitting with Galactus?
It's a talk show, and everybody's like this time.
Silver Surfer comes in. Honey, I'm home.
Did they get him back too?
I don't know.
No, Silver Surfer
It's,
and Fantastic
Four.
Four
Okay.
and Galactus all still belong to
No, they got Galactus back.
Fox. No, they didn't.
didn't?
They tried to.
Oh, okay,
That was the
then
whole
never
thing
mind.
where they tried. They were like offering them things.
Do you want Galactus? You can keep Galactus. That's fine. We don't need him.
We're talking about that.
We got some nighttime
Galactus
needs.
was supposed to be Avengers 2 originally.
Yeah.
That was the
Oh,
rumor
okay.
that I
We're
heard.
talking about that purple cloud.
No, hopefully. I just wondered if they're gonna give him the crazy hat, but we're getting off.
way off topic. Way off topic. We're talking about Daredevil.
Yeah.
Are we giving predictions for next season?
I think
Why don't we
we're
move into some predictions? We've been starting with them, but
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Creepy.
So let's go official predictions for season 2 of Daredevil. We already talked about Elektra. Sounds like Elektra's coming back.
All but confirmed. All but
Yeah.
confirmed.
I'm gonna go off the beaten path and talk about Karen. I think that we're gonna learn a lot about Karen's past in the next season. I mean, I've said that all this season too, so it may or may not happen. We'll never know. My hopes and dreams are that we learn about Karen's past in the first couple episodes of next season. I also think, like you guys said, there's gonna be multiple superheroes, and I really do think that he's gonna pull strings from jail.
Yeah. I think Karen's gonna start a blog.
Yeah.
Or become like an investigative like person. Like I think that's gonna be part of her development. She's gonna fill the shoes that Ben left behind. And I think that's gonna be really interesting seeing her like go out. Like that might be a great way to jumpstart stories. Is she is investigating murders and stuff like that, and then we find out it's got like a supervillain or something like that, and so like Daredevil has to get involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we'll probably get some more Claire, some night nurse.
Yeah, actually, Rosario Dawson is confirmed for season 2.
Oh, great! So we'll get that, and I think we'll get another kind of like suit upgrade or like weapon upgrade out of Matt.
Yeah,
by the end.
I think we're gonna get the sticks on a string.
Oh, I hope so. That's his favorite food, and I think we'll get. I want to get a bullseye out there. I want some bullseye. Yeah.
I think coming off of Claire, I think she's gonna get a suit. It may not be the exact night nurse suit, but just as a way for now that Matt has the suit contact, he's gonna help anybody that he can that knows to wear like Under Armour or something. So I think he's gonna use he's gonna use the contact to at least get Claire a suit.
Yeah.
I also think we're gonna get a test of one of the new heroes that's rumored. So it's like, oh man, I can't do this by myself. Well, I can help you. Not that lame, but like we're gonna get somebody in there helping Matt on a case to test whether or not, like just like a regular TV test, whether or not that character comes off as interesting to audiences, so that they can confirm one of the maybe. Depending on how much spirituality is there, maybe Ghost Rider, because he's the most that they have to test, I think.
Like we meet Johnny Blaze.
Yeah, or someone be like, is this character interesting enough to turn his head on fire? Hopefully.
That's an interesting prediction. I think
Blade
we're
would be
gonna
cool.
get. Probably get a Jessica Jones cameo. Because her series will have aired. And there's rumors. It's probably just like pure. It's probably not even a rumor, more speculation that we could see Matt in Jessica Jones
As like a lawyer.
Yeah, well, he in the Elias book, which is the Jessica Jones book, he is her lawyer.
Oh.
So it fits. It stands to reason. They're both like Jessica Jones is just like a private investigator with like very low level superpowers.
Yeah.
Anyway, lots of possibilities. I think we're gonna get him fighting a few multiple villains. I think Gladiator will like Potter will become Gladiator.
Yeah.
Whether he's good or bad, I think will be bent by the people around him.
Yeah.
And if he fights Daredevil, it will be because Fisk gets to Betsy
Yeah. Heavens to
from
Betsy.
prison. So I'm going to build off of all the theories.
There you go.
So I think that's going to do it for the recap. We do have a
Holy
giveaway
smokes.
Yeah.
before we get out of
We
here.
did it.
So to announce our winner of this gorgeous
So cool.
Daredevil flask.
really cool.
Mark, where can people get that Daredevil flask?
So this is made by a fan of the show, friend of mine. The shop is on Etsy. It's Cinna Sarah Carp. Follow me, Soapbox Mark, and I'll be able to tweet that out. But it's a guy who's got a whole bunch of merch. Daredevil. He's working on some Arrow designs. He's got Firefly, Halo, Assassin's Creed, some Star Wars, a whole bunch of stuff, lighters, flasks, all sorts of stuff. Hand carved. So this was hand carved, painted, and sealed by him in his workshop. So if you are unlucky enough to not win this flask, he has actually given us a coupon code. If you type in AFTERBUZZ TV when checking out, you get $10 off of anything in his store.
$10.
So, yeah,
Yeah, that's really
no,
cool.
it really helps off of absolutely anything that you could possibly dream of.
Nice.
Yeah. So this beautiful one, we got a little bit of the Man in the Mask there, and then a little bit of the Demon. I think he carved. No, he watched the whole series, but I think this is still just a little bit more traditional Daredevil down there. But it's super solid. The ones he's made for me, I've had for years, and there's been no wear or tear on them.
Nice.
Super solid product.
Well, the winner is Option Zero.
Hey!
Thank you, Option Zero, with
Yeah.
your drinking game throwing down without fear.
Just go over the rule one more time for the fine folks at home.
Yeah.
The
Like the rule
oh,
that
the
he gave
rule
for the
was
drinking game.
to take a shot each time that an object or person is thrown. If you tried to do more than one episode, you'd probably die.
If you
Getting
did this
wasted.
episode,
and you
very easily.
and you take a double shot when it ricochets before, or something ricochets before hitting its intended target.
if you did this episode, I feel like you would get very
very
drunk.
dead.
Thinking about
Very,
That's a-
very dead.
That's a goal. So get into contact with us either via
185.
Twitter, and
Yeah.
we'll give you further information on how for us to send you this flask. Thanks again to everybody who submitted a rule.
Yeah. thank
Speaking
you.
of Twitter.
Twitter.
Now that this is our season, this is our finale, guys. We're gonna be off for a while. I think we're gonna try to get the crew back together
Yeah.
when Jessica Jones comes back in the fall.
Reportedly at the end of this year, yeah.
That remains to be seen, but we will keep you all in the know. But until then, you can keep in touch with us on Twitter. Jamie Elias, where can people find
Guys,
you?
I'm gonna miss you. You can follow me on the Twitter or the Instagram. I would love to tweet with you at Jamie JamieSelias.
Yeah, you can find me at Jess Klein 1. That's JessKlein, the number 1. Yeah, please tweet at me. Tell me all your crazy theories. I will talk with you about them.
And you can find me on Twitter at SoapboxMark. I do a whole bunch of different shows for AfterBuzz and Popcorn Talk. I'm on Jedi Alliance. We just started a new show, Do Games Make Good Movies. Really solid show. We got a fun panel and a fun list that we're covering. And on AfterBuzz, I usually do wrestling shows. I pop up here or there. I can't wait for us to do Jessica Jones. Hopefully we can sneak in like a season review show just to kind of get back together and talk about the show again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you guys can follow me on Twitter at @ZachWilson, ThatZachWilson. And also here at AfterBuzz, I actually don't have a show for a while, but later this summer I will be doing The Leftovers and then The Strain with Stephen Lemieux over there. And also, if you're a big Marvel Comics fan, throughout the summer I'll be covering as much of Secret Wars as I can afford to on my blog, geekvent.blogspot.com, which is also, you can find the link on my Twitter and the articles I'll post there as well. Guys, I'm Zach Wilson, and thanks for geeking out with us.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.